your dog is ignoring you, or maybe you just clicked on this video for fun, I don't know. But how frustrating is it when you're telling your dog to come, for instance, and they start running towards you and they just go right past you because they've stopped caring about your command. Or you tell them to sit in the house and they sit, and then you go 1 foot outside your door, tell them to sit, and they're like, forget you, Mom. They're not actually thinking that, guys. They're confused, they're distracted, they don't know what's going on because you're doing it in a whole new environment. So here's some clues on like what to do when your dog is ignoring you. Start with teaching 1 command at a time. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't technically work on multiple things, but it means in 1 dedicated training session, you should have 1 focus and do that on repeat so that your dog can get it very, very clearly, and it's not just every once in a while you're telling them to sit and you're only telling them to sit in 1 specific scenario. It should be sit means sit in the kitchen, in the living room, outside, in the park, everywhere. And you want to really build on this so that the sit becomes automatic no matter where you are, or any other command. Use a clear, consistent command. Do not touch. Okay, yay! What this essentially means is that you want to use the same word. So I'll say what I do wrong. When I'm talking to my dog, I'll say, may I have a sit, please? And she'll be like, what are you talking about? Because I've just said a whole sentence to her. She doesn't know what I'm saying. So instead, you want to be clear. Sit. And you want sit to mean sit every single time. Another thing about consistency isn't just you being consistent, it's your dog being consistent. What? How do I do that? My dog isn't consistent? You want a firm ending. So we used the example of a recall earlier. So you call come. Your dog only gets the treat if they stay, stop, and at that point you want to grab their collar or harness so that they can't immediately run off after. Then you give a break cue. The break cue makes things really, really clear because it's saying you are going to lie down until I say break, and then you can get up. With that said, if your dog doesn't know the break cue, you can't say lie down and then just stand there for 5 minutes while your dog lies down. You might have to say lie down, treat, break immediately. Reward the behavior at a very obvious time. So sit, you may not be able to put, I'm so sick of using the command sit. Let's say stay, because that one's a little bit trickier. So you tell your dog to stay. Then it might be difficult if your dog is, a couple yards away to give them a treat immediately as they stop. So you can use a clicker at the moment they stop to say that was exactly what I wanted. Now here's the tricky part. A lot of dogs think the click is the same as a break. People accidentally teach that. So be careful that you don't end the behavior whenever the click sounds. But another thing to keep in mind is that you can say stay, walk all the way up to the dog, and then click. That is controversial. I know, not everyone agrees with that, but I'll tell you why it works. It's because the dog knows to stay until you come to them. That way, if they're across the road, they're not thinking, Mom's going to tell me to come any second now, and then they break on their own. You want them to know, stay until the break cue or until I get to you. So you can wait on the click until you make it all the way to them. And if they can't stay from a distance, and we do have a video on staying from a distance, or stopping at least, then start a foot away so you can literally just reward them as soon as they stop. We did say this earlier, but it's worth putting more detail into it. You want to proof this in multiple environments, but you don't want to start in the hardest possible environment. So if your dog just barely learned to, let's say, lie down in your house, and they only kind of know it, don't go to a dog park and expect them to suddenly lie down. That is setting yourself up to fail. You can start really easy by just opening your door and then having them lie down inside with the door open so they're getting used to the sights and sounds of the outdoors. Then move just outside the door and then move to different environments. Your yard, the dog park is going to be the hardest thing. You can go into craft stores and do it inside another building. That might actually be easier than the outdoors. So start like that, and then the next tip, be consistent. Yes, this one is the hardest. It's really not though, guys, if you catch yourself. So, number 1 tip for staying consistent is rewarding yourself, reward the dog, record yourself. What this kind of reminds you of is when you're watching it back, then you're going to see yourself doing something, and then you're going to watch your dog fail. Rewind, watch it again and say, what about my behavior was different? What made the dog struggle and made them confused that I didn't do in past times? So record it so that you can make sure you're using the same cue every single time. So if you're bored and you want to watch another video, one worth watching is the one where we teach our dog to stay. I'll link that one below. And if you really want a training plan so that you have a step-by-step goal of what to do every day, then we actually have a course called the Perfect Pup course that you can check out, also linked below. And yes, I am, advertising myself because that's the world we live in. Get over it. I'm kidding, guys. All right, have fun training.